Hello and welcome back to the Football Talk podcast with myself, Dave, and Josh. Josh, say hello if you're there. He is definitely there. That is very, very nice to hear. So, just a very quick go through of what we're going to cover in today's episode. So, there's going to be a wiki files like normal. Then we're going to review the Croatia v England game and get our thoughts on that. Review England's World Cup as a whole. There is one more game to go, but we're going to go through and who we think's performed well, what we think will happen in the future, what does it mean for the future of English football, and then we're going to preview very quickly, obviously, the final where Croatia will be playing France. We'll end with Josh's fun fact of the day, and then that'll be us done for another podcast. So hopefully that all sounds very good. But first things first, as ever, is the wiki files. Because I still haven't done the jingle. Because I'm very, very lazy. But before we get onto it, Josh, I want to confirm something with you about a new rule.
Okay, we're like real football, ever evolving, rules changing to improve it for our fans.
Exactly, that's what we like to think we're doing, I guess. But obviously we had the Lorik Cana rule, which was introduced after Lorik Cana was the first wiki files we had, and he had played 30 games in the Premier League, and that became the rule. They had to play a minimum of 30 games. Obviously, my thing with Paul Rideout last week, or 2 weeks ago, sorry, caused a bit of a stir where you mentioned you're more of a Euro 96 onwards sort of guy. So I'm suggesting we introduce the Paul Rideout rule and say they have to be after Euro 96 in the Premier League.
It's perfectly for me. This is, I'm probably going to get this in about 5 seconds, so I'll have to hold off and let other people have a go. But yeah.
All right then, right. So I am now sending over to Josh my player for this week, and if he can talk through what he sees, that would be wonderful.
No. Oh no, Dave. Okay, so they started with Ipswich Town and made a lot of appearances for Ipswich Town. 240 appearances. They have scored 0-0 goals. 0-0 goals. I've got it. I've got my player. Yes.
Have you got it that quickly?
Yeah.
Oh man, that is so irritating.
0 goals alerts me to the fact that it's either a very short defender because it won't go up for, or I was like, it might be a goalkeeper.
Okay.
And the Ipswich Town obviously starts being an English goalkeeper. And I remember when Ipswich got promoted to a Premier League and they had this goalkeeper in goal, and I thought, I only got a few England caps maybe. Well, maybe not, maybe a few England squads.
Okay.
Moved to Arsenal.
Yeah.
I don't remember this many appearances for Everton.
Yeah, well.
I've just kind of lost it from my memory, but yeah. And then, I mean, his career pretty much stalled. He went back to familiar ground with Ipswich, but
I can't believe you've got it this quickly.
He's made 82 club appearances for another club other than Ipswich, and that's yeah. So my guess would be Richard Wright.
It is indeed Richard Wright, and just to show the clarity, there's his international appearances on the screen now as well. He did make that as well. 2 England appearances, yeah. So you pretty much nailed that spot on. But there you go. There you go. Well, fucking easy one for you. Excuse my French. I thought it was going to be harder.
Tend to kind of look at these kind of players a bit recently because he's clearly benefited from being English. Yeah. And clearly benefited from the fact that he doesn't mind being a third choice keeper. So that's why he's got his kind of roles at other clubs. Like the kind of the Manchester City clearly needed to boost up their homegrown, so they chucked him on the bench. Yeah. Now, I'm going to send you a player here.
Oh, okay.
We're just going to roll with it quickly.
Yeah,
he also had a stint at Man City. Check out this bad boy. Look at the amount of club games this man has played in his career.
That is incredible. He started in 97 at Arsenal, where he played 18 games in 8 years to 2005. Then loans.
And ironically, that was a really good kind of appearance ratio for him.
Yeah. That's incredible. This guy is awful.
But I mean, he's stolen a living. I could have kept up this kind of club appearances.
Is this Stuart Taylor?
It is Stuart Taylor. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. Because I suddenly thought, who was Southampton's third choice goalkeeper last year? And it was Stuart Taylor.
According to Wikipedia, he has made in his career across all competitions 95 appearances.
That is ridiculous.
21 years.
And I'm hoping for his sake that his contract wasn't just on playing appearances money.
Yeah,
That is ludicrous.
A few of these keepers knocking about, these kind of English third choices who kind of get decent gigs, but
Yeah, I mean, even
I'd love to have an interview with someone like that. Just
what,
if we could
what were
do
you
that
thinking?
for this. We get Stuart Taylor. Yeah, like, can you actually play football? Like, do you have a second job?
Yeah.
What do you do? What do you do on weekends?
Maybe get a tweet out to him, see if he's around next weekend. I mean, he's not going to be busy playing football, is he? So
He's definitely not. No. But maybe he loves pre-season, just loves it. So yeah.
Bloody hell.
We'll get him on the podcast. So if everybody knows him,
yeah, send him a tweet, put him in touch. Yeah, bloody hell, absolutely incredible.
Cool.
So, okay, well, Josh, you've absolutely smashed that one. You've smashed my wiki files there with Richard Wright. I thought the Southampton loan might throw you off before he moved back to Ipswich. 7 games on loan at Southampton. But,
no, yeah, it was more the. I just remember that Southampton side got promoted, and the Ipswich side that got promoted. So you obviously had your Richard Wright. Was it Marcus Stewart up front? Titus Bramble.
Yeah.
They
had a Dutch midfielder who was really good. Oh God, it's going to bug me now.
Yeah,
his name.
Marco Royce, is it?
Yeah, Royce. Yeah. So I don't think it was Marco because you're thinking of Marco Royce, but it was definitely Royce.
Martin Royce with a J.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was the one. Yeah, they had some really good players that Ipswich, and then they came up and got into Europe as well, didn't they?
Yeah, and then they signed Finidi George. Was like their one big signing for the second season, and
where the manager had been playing Champ Manager 0102 and signed Finidi George.
George Burley was the manager. Yeah.
So, but there we go. That's the wiki files done for today. Nice, quick. Josh showing that he's got too much time to spend on Wikimedia.
Scrambling around.
Yeah. Oh, well, there we go. So we'll move straight on to the next topic, and we'll be reviewing Croatia versus England in the World Cup semi-final. Obviously, Josh and I both very despondent and upset about the result. But, Josh, what do you think about the game?
It kind of followed the pattern that we feared, really. Played quite well first half. I mean, the goal in this game and the Euros, we had 2 Tottenham players who scored direct free kicks. Yeah, I'm not sure either have ever taken a direct free kick for Tottenham. So Eric Dyer against Russia in the Euros scored that, whipped one into a corner, and then Kieran Trippier scores one against Croatia. It's like, where has this come from?
Yeah. It was a peach of a free kick from Trippier as well. It was a lovely strike.
Yeah, and I mean, even like he's not on corners for Tottenham. It's like he's just come blown our minds. It's like, okay, well done. We really should have got a score when you're on top. So that first half, Kane's chance and was as well in the first.
It's just unlucky, I think. Kane. Yeah. Have you seen the picture where they've put it as a still image where he could have just squared it to Sterling? Oh, it looks bad.
The image does make football look incredibly simple, but because nothing's moving. But yeah.
Well, yeah.
Kane is not. I had to look at the stats the other day because for Tottenham he shoots on sight. Like it's kind of like sometimes like just stop shooting, but often he scores, so you don't often say that.
Yeah.
But I looked out in open play, his shots per 90, so per 90 minutes on average what he takes. So in the World Cup, 3 shots in open play per 90 minutes. So that's 1 shot basically. He'll have a pop on average. So that excludes like his penalties and things like that. So in the Premier League, on average for his 30 odd games played last season, he averaged over 4 shots per game in open play.
Wow. Okay.
There's some form of injury he's carrying. I saw Gary Neville mention it. I slightly agree. I thought maybe he had a hamstring issue. Was like really kind of unwilling to kind of unload and have a pop because change that attitude in the player. Unless there's something other.
It did look like he was not quite himself in that game. He was struggling with something because there was a stat. You might even know this stat because you love a good stat. But against Croatia, he won something like 20% of the headers he actually challenged for, or something really bizarre. When all the previous games he was winning nearly every single header, no matter who he was against.
It's a shame, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of side we put out for the third place playoff.
Yeah.
So back to the match. First half was kind of like okay. We didn't really. I think there was a tactical switch from Croatia at half time, and we did not adapt. In hindsight, we really should have gone to 4 at back, and then probably 4 in midfield, and then maybe 5 in midfield, because their fullbacks were time and time again getting space to whip balls in, and we'd gone to a back 5 at that point. And obviously then we had just the three in the middle. They're getting pulled across the pitch, left and right. It wasn't working. And when we get on to the winners and losers, I think that I will touch on the kind of tactical side of things, but it was just getting worse and worse as the match went on. Both goals conceded and I think that's the risk you have when we had Kyle Walker in the back three and also John Stones. As much as he had a lot of positive elements to his game, there's just that kind of momentary lapse, and I really believed from that point on. It was just we reverted to long ball, and it was just the end.
Yeah, I just think there was, like you mentioned it before, like the tactical switch that Croatia did. Something I noticed during the game was that in the first half we actually kept a hold of Modric quite well, and I think because he was playing more advanced, and then in the second half Croatia seemed to have swapped Rakitic and Modric around, and Modric played a lot deeper as sort of like a quarterback sort of role. And I just don't think Jordan Henderson didn't know whether he should go and press Modric and therefore play higher up or sit in front of the back four. And I just think maybe it's a little bit of tactical naivety from Southgate, the team, or everybody, just not knowing how to quickly change. I don't know if I agree with the situation where you said we should have gone to a back four, because I think the three at the back with the wing backs was working well, but I would have taken off Ashley Young sooner than he did come off and brought on Danny Rose to go and close down the crossing on that wing.
I think from the first whistle, Ashley Young looked a bit yard off here. He wasn't getting to those balls. He wasn't closing his man down, and it was just kind of like, I would have had Danny Rose in straight from the Panama game onwards. That Panama game, he was taking his man better, and I feel sorry for Danny Rose. He didn't get his chance because I think he was overall would have been the better player in a position, but Ashley Young added some bits, but I don't think you'd have lost that much with Danny Rose.
Yeah, I think. Well, I agree. Really, I can't really argue with that. I think once we won the Tunisia game, you got to keep the same squad for the Panama game. We won that, and then Rose played against Belgium, didn't he? And I think he did pretty well. Or did Rose play against Panama from the start?
He came on.
No, yeah, he came on. Yeah,
later on.
Yeah,
and in like 20 minutes, he took a man on. He skinned a man like more times than Ashley Young had done in the previous 1.5 games. So it was, that's kind of what we saw you were missing.
Yeah, fair enough. And I just think I would have definitely made that switch earlier. I would have brought on Danny Rose for Ashley Young earlier, and I think that would have helped us close down the crosses. I mean, you could tell Trippier was just knackered when it got to extra time, hence why he picked up the injury, which, you can't hold it against him. He's obviously been played pretty much every game, I'm pretty sure. He played every single game that England were in. I don't know, I just thought there was a bit of tactical naivety from maybe the players or Southgate, but it's been a great World Cup for England. I mean, I'm not gonna.
Oh yeah,
we said this last time. Whatever happened in this game, and it was like chatting to a few people, some English guys, some foreigners here in Singapore, but a lot of people were like, yeah, now that everyone's sort of like beginning to believe. I don't think Roy Keane and Ian Wright had that big tiff, didn't they, on ITV, and Roy Keane saying, "Oh, you're all planning the final." I don't think we were. I just thought everyone was on this wave of euphoria for England and was sort of like, we could actually get to the final. We could get there. We've got a really good chance. And then it just sort of made the loss a little bit harder to take. Because you come away from it saying, oh, it's been a really good World Cup. It's done. England have played really well. They've inspired the nation again. They've made England as a country fall in love with English football and the national football team again, which is really good. But it does get to that point where it's sort of like, yeah, but what if? It's the biggest what if I've ever had in England, like watching England in my lifetime, I think.
I think the problem we also face now is the fact that this kind of once in a generation, once in a lifetime opportunity, because we had limited expectations going into this. But now, so what's going to happen when Euros come around? They're going to reach the semi-final. The expectation increases again. So you're not going to find this set of expectations. And also, the way things opened up for us in the kind of the run-in, it was the two combined to be somewhat almost seemingly perfect. It didn't quite happen, but it happened again. The squad expectations can't really happen again because this is a young squad and they're going to just grow. So you're going to kind of build expectation rather than reduce. And although it's just as likely as this one for it to happen again with the run-in, it did seem to be somewhat fortuitous how it happened. So that perfect storm is unlikely to happen again, and so I think this was very much a missed opportunity.
And just to add to that, like where you say this perfect storm won't happen again, this could possibly be, like, okay, we don't know because can't see into the future, but this could possibly be the last, what I would describe as sensible World Cup. 2022 is in Qatar. 2026 is going to have 48 teams in it. This will be the last World Cup that will be traditional in the sense
we know it kind of thing. Yeah,
as we know it. Yeah, and I think it's going to change a lot of things. I mean, the 2022 World Cup's already going to be mental. Have you seen they've released the dates for when it's going to be? It's like November to December.
Mid-December, isn't
it? It's stupid. Well, no, it's stupid for European football, which is where all the money comes from. So it is a bit silly. It's a world game, so I take that into consideration, but it's going to affect the season before the World Cup, it's going to affect the season of the World Cup and the season after the World Cup, and it's going to affect the League Cup and the FA Cup in everything. So I don't know what's going to happen with that, but we'll have to cover that in the podcast in 3 years.
Absolutely.
So, but yes, anyway, back to the game. We've got a bit of a tangent there. I thought the winning goal for Mandzukic, I thought it was just John Stones, I think, has had a really good tournament, and I just thought that was, his reactions were slow because he was tired, and he'd been literally been defending for a whole second half, and then basically the whole of extra time. So it's going to take an effect on him. He is only young, so I don't really blame him. I just think Croatia had that experience to manage the game and feel like they'd been in that position before. And I think
you look at it, and Croatia seem mentally quite strong, don't they? They had that next level of experience than us, because a lot of them have been there, done that. You got Mandzukic, who's played Champions League finals with Rakitic and Modric and Brozovic. Lovren was Champions League finalist. There's that real experience amongst them, and obviously they've been the same
world-class Dejan Lovren. Now we've all got to stand up and take notice that he's one of the world's best centre-backs.
That bloke should have been booked so early on in that match. He was just amped up, and this referee in this game was lenient. I think the overall kind of World Cup, it's been too lenient for me. I saw a stat the other day, and it was around red cards for serious foul play or violent conduct in this World Cup.
Yeah,
and it's not only linked to leniency, because obviously VAR can play a part in this, because you're going to get caught. But in 1998 World Cup, there were 16 red cards for those two offences. 2002, 11. 2006, 8 red cards. 2010, 6 red cards for that. 2014, 7 red cards for that. How many in 2018? None so far for that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I've seen a few instances like Otamendi should have probably had a little bit of it previously, and I just think it's just been too much. There's a few fouls in that England game. We're just like, come on, he's just been completely wiped out there. I don't want bizarre. Like kind of yellow cards punishment, but just pick up fouls for that, because it just ruins it a little bit.
Yeah, and with VAR, you think there'd be possibly more like for the red cards and yellow cards where someone can quickly talk to the ref. I still don't understand how Barrios didn't get a red card for head nudging. I won't call it a head, but head nudging Jordan Henderson in the Colombia game. But yeah, anyway, we've got on a tangent again. We're not really reviewing England-Croatia. We're sort of just chatting generally about the World Cup, which is fine. That's why we like chatting about football with each other. So, but yeah, I mean, what else did anyone from England stand out in the Croatia game? In that game alone, just looking at that game in isolation.
Really, I mean, Raheem Sterling again for me did well. First half especially was pulling all over the place and at times. Yeah. So I thought I was quite impressed with him again.
Okay.
He'll get undue criticism. I
think
it was go on.
Everyone just looked. If you compare to when we played last time, it was the game against Croatia was Jordan Henderson's worst game of the World Cup, which is, that's nothing too bad to say, because he'd been one of our better players, I think, in the World Cup as a whole. But he was not at the same level. Well, it must have just been a fitness thing. I think, Dele Alli didn't do much against Croatia, and Harry Kane, as we said, looked injured. I think, again, Harry Maguire was probably our standout player against Croatia.
actually think it was probably Dele Alli's best game. He had, in the first half especially, he had some lovely touches and was wanting to move the ball around and get on the ball. I thought I was a little bit more impressed with him, but still, it was a shadow of full flight Dele Alli for Spurs. It's Harry Kane. Yeah, as I said, I think something's not quite right there, so didn't quite perform. But yeah, Harry Maguire again did well again.
Yeah, and I mean, so on the basis of it, I think would you agree to say that Croatia deserved to win to go through?
You got to say yes. Yeah. It's hard to take, but
they just showed the experience.
It was I kind of, yeah, and I think overall, yeah, it's fair. I was going to say they deserve to kind of nick it just a little bit, and that's exactly what they did. So I think, unfortunately, it is quite right.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, we've touched on a general sort of review of England anyway, so we might as well go fully smack into it now, and we'll park the Croatia game to one side. I mean, it could be included in this review anyway, but so let's start with, before we go on to individual players and stuff, England's World Cup as a whole. If you could sum it up in like a sentence, how would you sum it up?
It's promising. It was refreshing and promising. So refreshing because it was something new. We played decent attacking football. We moved the ball well. It was a different formation. Young players who seem to have a lot less fear, playing out from the back. But it was just a little bit. You got to hope for the future holds a little bit more, because it just came out a little bit short.
Okay, yeah, no, interesting. So I think it's same. I'm quite positive about the future. I'm quite positive now about the future of England. I'm not going to say it was plain sailing and always good, because we played good attacking football as you described it, but we really didn't create many chances from open play, which is always a concern in football terms, because you can't rely on set pieces forever. Just ask Tony Pulis.
No, I agree, and we missed a few glaring opportunities from open play at times, so it could easily be. I imagine our XG in that was reasonably promising, but as we went on, I was like, World Cup from corners and VAR penalties, it seemed a bit. It would have been a little bit tarnished, but
yeah. I mean, thoughts on Southgate as well? Any thoughts on what you think about Gareth Southgate?
He's got a lot of positives and some negatives. So the positives were, he seems to have, for me, he embodies Gino in a way that he was out there, kind of always hugging his players and kind of showing them support. That's what I see from Pochettino, and I mean, I must admit, I didn't really follow Gareth Southgate's managerial career before. If that was always him, but I mean, if you're taking positive traits from top level managers, yeah. But in that sense of that kind of that,
yeah,
and kind of that father figure, I thought he did really well with that, really well with the media, and that kind of way he speaks is very positive. But I think we're lacking.
I mean, I just saw him as a sort of everything he did. It looked like he was a posh Terry Venables. That's exactly how he came across to me as the England manager. Like, I remember Terry Venables in '96, and he was always arm around the players, trying to protect them in the media, sort of telling it honestly as it was, which I think is what Gareth Southgate's done. And yeah, it just massively struck me as Southgate knew what Venables did for that squad, and how he invented it, and how he got them in a good upbeat morale all the time, and get them working as a team together, and just like, let's just take that persona and that image and that team ethic and plonk it into 2018 and see if it pays off. And it did pay off. So that's what I think anyway.
What can you see for the future of Gareth Southgate as England manager? And do you see it being a 2, 4, 6, 10-year reign? Is he new Yogi Low, or is he just a...
No chance. It's still the English FA, so it will literally take either not qualifying for Euro 2020 and he'll be gone, or getting to Euro 2020 and losing to Iceland and he'll be gone. I would love to think it's a long-term strategy. I'd love to think they're going to stick with Southgate no matter what for the next 8 years or something. Give him at least a second World Cup to see what it's all about, because he's proven in this World Cup that he can get a team spirit working. But I just can't see the FA doing that with all the media pressure and all the pressure from the higher beings and the football powers and the financial powers as well. If he fucks up qualifying, then he's gone, isn't he? He's not going to stay in a job if he doesn't qualify us for Euro 2020.
Yeah, agreed. I can't really see it. And also I can't see it from a point of view that he's the best man for the job. I can't think of anyone better at the moment, but you'd hope someone better comes along in say 4 or 5 years' time. You hope that someone shows themselves to be better. I don't know who it would be, but if this is as good as it gets, kind of as a whole complete package, I'd be a little bit sad.
But to flip that on its head, though, I would be very worried now if we went from someone like Southgate to Mourinho, who said he wants the England job. I don't think Mourinho would be anywhere near as good as what Southgate's done for morale and team spirit. And I don't know, Mourinho just annoys the hell out of me as a United fan. But Mourinho has stated he wants to manage England and he wants to do some international football. And I'm worried that, for example, Southgate has a poor tournament or something and Mourinho's available. The FA will just go, yeah, get rid of him. We'll get Mourinho in because it's a big name. That's what I don't.
And I can see maybe that. I think because this a lot of this squad. I mean, only a couple, 3, maybe 4, maybe members of this squad are over 30. So I think you'd at least give Southgate to their prime, and then if say it's like, oh, we've got a tournament where it's a final hurrah, then I think you'd want to bring in. I could potentially accept bringing in a Mourinho character, then going, right, this is their last shot, this is their last major tournament before Coram kind of retire, so you go then. But as far as building for the future, you need someone like Southgate for it.
Yeah, because you need that stability, definitely.
Mourinho,
and I hope he gets it. I hope Southgate gets the chance to at least try and stick with it. And I just don't want a trigger happy FA. That's what I don't want. I mean, Southgate's done well this one. Let's see what he can do in the next one. So. Yeah, it's interesting. It'll be interesting going forward. Like you say, he probably isn't the best person for the job, and he's not what the person everybody wanted, but he's done a good job, and I don't know. Let's see what happens. I guess. But yeah, Gareth Southgate. What do you think about the team? We might as well go through the players and standout players for you and players that didn't perform too well. Who do you want to touch on first?
I've probably got 3 standout players, I'd say, from this squad.
Okay.
I think about half the side did pretty well. So my top 3 would probably be Pickford, Maguire, and Trippier.
Yeah, I'd agree.
At 10s. And then the next tier down would be probably Stones, Sterling, and Kane, I thought were next best thing.
Yeah. I think it's going to sound like an odd sentence, but I know Kane scored all the goals, but I don't actually think he played overly well. He held the ball up very well. He did hold the ball up very, very well and won a lot of free kicks for us, which helped us. But yeah, I don't know. I was expecting more of the Tottenham Harry Kane.
Absolutely, you expect more, but ultimately,
he did play
Premier Striker. He's going to win hopefully win Golden Ball. So it's like, well,
Golden Boot. He definitely wasn't going to win Golden Ball.
Oh, but yeah, Golden Boot. Sorry, yeah. So. It's ultimately what you need from your striker.
Yeah. Okay, that's very true. So, yeah, I think Harry Maguire, Jordan Pickford, and Kieran Trippier are the 3 best players for England at the World Cup. Next level down, I'd definitely put John Stones in there. I thought he had a really good tournament. I thought Raheem Sterling, as much as so many people don't understand what he is actually bringing to the team, I thought he did really well. I was quite impressed with Jesse Lingard. I thought his energy made a big difference to the team. I thought he had a good tournament. And Jordan Henderson. I thought Jordan Henderson, as I said, other than the Croatia game, I thought Jordan Henderson was bloody brilliant, to be honest. It's like a completely different Jordan Henderson to what I've ever seen play before for England, and it was refreshing to see it. Like, always had his head up, looking for a forward pass. Wasn't just content in tackling and passing it sideways. It was good. Yeah, I thought he
may have been looking for a forward pass, but didn't always find a forward pass. Is my criticism. I'd give Henderson and Lingard both 7 out of 10s. Lingard, both players frustrated me. They both did everything well until the final thing they were asked of. So Jordan Henderson picked up ball, looked forward passes against Croatia. It was kind of like Christ. And then Lingard, I want him to get on the ball, get into goal scoring positions, but he was so wasteful. He could have been vying for Golden Ball with Golden Boot with Harry Kane, because in that first Tunisia match, he's put out 3 chances, hit the post, and it was just wasteful. So they're 7 out of 10s for me.
Okay, all right then. So Going into the lower echelons, then anyone get like a 1 out of 10 or a 2 out of 10?
Rated player is a player I'm torn of how like it changes from matches. Although he must have started one match. He came on as sub quite often. Was Eric Dyer.
Yeah,
Now,
I
I
hate him. I hate him. Other than that winning penalty, I I just don't
his save
understand
rate is
what he does, other than make everybody
see Pochettino
nervous.
loves him. If you look at over Pochettino's career at Spurs, I'd say Eric Dyer has probably played the most matches. He loves him, and
Okay.
just played at right back and played at centre back. When the next season he played defensive midfielder, and he was all action. He in challenges. Then he kind of moved to be even more of a at the end of that season. Played more of a creative passes, and he's got a decent passing range, but he just doesn't really put the tackles in. Doesn't really play the exciting passes, and it's just kind of like a passenger at times. And
He was terrible for England. He came on against Colombia and made us look really, really nervous and was awful. And then he came on against Croatia and just again when he came on, it felt like everybody else in the team just got nervous. Like their whole nerves increased and made it. It was. I don't know. All I'm doing is like putting my shoulders and elbows really close to my body, like I've got loads of tension, and that's how it made me feel when he came on. It was. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I'd rather have seen Loftus-Cheek or someone, Trent Alexander-Arnold in centre mid, just for the energy and the tackling. And I just don't like Eric Dyer. I think I'd give him a 1 or 2 out of 10 for the World Cup.
Blimey,
Other than
that
scoring
is
the penalty.
harsh. I agree, but yeah, I don't think I could ever give someone those ratings. But each their own.
Just going to Dele Alli. I think it was everybody was sort of. I say everybody. I've summed up everybody of what I'm about to say. But I was really expecting him and Kane to have that link that you see at Spurs, and it never really happened, did it? There was never really Ali and Kane linking passes and getting onto flick-ons, and it's obviously a different system, but it was disappointing.
That Kane Ali link was not this season gone, the season before, where Ali played just off the striker, which is why he scored the best part of 20 goals in the league. Played a different role last season, played a different role in all of his 3 seasons, and then played a different role for England here. So you're never going to see that link. And at times I was kind of craving that Kane Ali link, and
is that why you
Sterling
think
was going off? But
do you think Southgate didn't want to sub him off because he was hoping that link would happen?
Fortunately for us, there was just always a bit of a step down with players. I think we had a first 11, and then beyond that, I think if we had Oxlade-Chamberlain in the squad, I think Ali would have seen a lot less game time.
Yeah, that's a very interesting thought, actually. Yeah, that is a very interesting thought. Okay, anybody else that you're Ashley Young? You're just about to touch on Ashley Young, so what do you think?
I don't. If that man if he wasn't able to take a free kick, I don't think he'd have been playing.
Okay, yeah, very interesting. I think who would you have taken? Who would you have taken instead of him? Because you would have started Danny Rose, but Danny Rose wasn't fit for the first game.
I would have. I was happy to take. I was happy to take Ashley Young.
Yeah,
I saw him very much as the backup left back, and Danny Rose as the starting left back. And it must have been a very tough season for Danny Rose. He injury, had a few faltering starts, and probably thought I'm going to start a World Cup here. Didn't, and then had a few sub appearances.
Yeah, it was interesting, an interesting one. Anyone else? And who do you think was just on the very much mediocre, bang average list? Marcus Rashford.
I really don't. I don't see Marcus Rashford being a player everybody wants him to be. He's Danny Welbeck Mark II. He's young. He's promising.
That.
He's not. Everybody thinks he's going to be some stand-up player. I don't see it happening. Don't see it.
Yeah, but I really want it to happen.
Everybody wants it to happen. I think that everybody's going to apply pressure to him and go, "Oh, I want you to be this," but especially at Man United, he's not going to develop into the player you want him to be, because he's not going to be playing where he should be playing. He needs to make a move. If he wants to be a striker, go somewhere you're going to be a striker.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Stay there.
I'd rather he stayed at Man United and was a striker, but yeah, that's not going to happen, especially under Mourinho. So, but okay, well, I mean, Anybody else that you'd like to say for a winner or a loser?
The only other first team we haven't mentioned was Kyle Walker, and unfortunately, a lot of good work and in there for his pace. But my fears were realised. You play a right wing back, really, at centre back, you're going to get defensive mistakes. So against Croatia, there's a few shank clearances and
the stupid penalty against Tunisia.
Tunisia and just a few mistakes. I letting the ball run across him at dangerous positions. Stones and Maguire, I can see they're both 24, 25. I can see them being mainstays of the if we keep a back three. I think Kyle Walker now is probably about 28. For the next season, because obviously I can't see we've got a centre back who can step in and take that role.
Yeah, that's the issue. Yeah, we don't have that centre back that I think can step in and take the role off him. I quite liked Kyle Walker at centre back because his pace was really good at covering. But it's like you say, you can't really pick someone for their pace if they're going to make those sort of errors as a centre back, because it just completely negates.
You can't just use him to cover, and he is a lot more to the game than just running. The player I do quite like, and I'd like to see him make a move, is Jamal Lascelles.
Yeah. He's looks very good for Newcastle last season. Yeah, did look very good for Newcastle last season.
Very important for them. So I'd maybe like to see him move, get some game time and get into the England squad. Other players who I think maybe we could have brought in, or maybe look to kind of bring back in, right, because obviously injuries and things for the forthcoming kind of qualifying campaign. Probably, I'd like to see. Really, I think Harry Winks would have been a great addition to this squad. He had some fantastic matches earlier in the season against massive sides, against like Real Madrid, and he was just outstanding at the Bernabeu. I think he could have made a difference against because he keeps position so often. That second half against Croatia, we punt it long. We played it around the back three, back five, because we didn't have that to retain position within the midfield. And I think Harry Winks can offer that. Who he comes in for, not sure. If he goes alongside Henderson and take out a Lingard or Ali, or if he replaces Henderson, it still leaves us light in centre mid. I think if you just have one, but
he can take Eric Dyer's place on the bench. That's fine.
Winks, pending his kind of recovery from his ankle injury, for me should be in the squad for years to come.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. It's very interesting. So, I mean, you can't really predict teams of the future, can you? Because it's so things can change in football. Like you say, Marcus Rashford could stay at United and completely not develop at all, and then he might not be in the squad for the next World Cup. And so I'm not going to predict who's going to be playing where and who's going to be staying, because I don't want to look like an idiot. Because no doubt I'll predict someone that will end up retiring or something like that. So no, I think I'm just I don't know. Harry Winks, I'm not completely sold on. I haven't seen enough of him play. That's why I'm not sold on him. I haven't seen enough of his performances. I didn't see the game against Real Madrid where he basically marked Modric out of the game and kept Modric on a leash, or so I've been told. But
I would compare him to he's similar to me to the young Scott Parker.
Okay, fair enough.
He's kind of Charlton days, and I think Scott Parker made some poor career choices and kind of stalled a little bit, and then changed into a more of a tough tackling player in his later years. But I think if Harry Winks can kind of maintain and stay with Spurs through their hopeful progression, or that kind of sustained top level, can develop into a more complete player. But that's the player I'd kind of like him to.
All right, yeah, interesting. I think the only thing I want to say about the review of the England squad is I just don't. Why was Danny Welbeck there? That's the question I'm going to end on for this.
Not entirely sure. Yeah.
Why was Danny Welbeck there? If you're going to take him, like the game against get my words out, against Croatia, that was, I don't know. It was sort of like if there was ever a game for Danny Welbeck to come on, it was that second or first half in extra time, when just because he'll just run. He will scare people with his pace, and he will probably mess up loads of chances when he gets there. But he would have carried on stretching them. He would have had the direct running. He would have had a little bit of flair with his gangly legs, and he would have been a danger Now, I'm not saying I would have brought him on because I wouldn't have put him in my squad in the first place. But if you're taking him, you're taking him obviously for a reason. If you're gonna take him and just not play him at all, then call up a younger player or someone to give them the experience who you think you'll be playing in 2 years' time or 4 years' time. Because Danny Welbeck won't be playing, will he, at Euro 2020? He's not even going to play for Arsenal with all the players they've now got. So, yeah, that bamboos. Leave a comment down below if you know why Danny Welbeck was taken to the World Cup, please.
Yeah, no comment.
Yeah, it's just completely bamboozled me. But okay, well, I think it'll be interesting to know you guys, the listeners out there, our viewers and listeners, leave your comments down below about what do you think of the England squad, who performed well for you guys, who was your top 3 players for England. Obviously, Josh and I picked the same in Pickford, Maguire and Trippier. And who didn't do well, and name one player that you think will be in the next squad for Euro 2020 who wasn't in this squad. So Josh went with Harry Winks, and obviously the Ox if when he comes back from his injury. I think it could well be Lascelles, even if he stays at Newcastle. If he has another season like he's done, then there's no reason why he won't be in there next time, and he'll take
the honourable mention. The honourable mention I'm going to go for is Ryan Sessegnon.
Ooh, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, at left wing back.
And I thought about you when you mentioned Danny Welbeck at the time, because obviously Sessegnon played left wing come the end of the last season. It'd be interesting to see what position he plays in the Premier League this year. But yeah, just as something different there. It's all hindsight, obviously. I mean, I wouldn't have been upset if he was in the squad, but it would have felt very much like a Theo Walcott going into the squad if he'd gone in this time.
Yeah, definitely. Let's preview the World Cup final. Croatia v France. Josh, predictions? What do you think?
France. And I want France to win it. Boo, Croatia.
You want France to win it?
I mean, I didn't like the way that Croatia players came out speaking after the England game. Like, we'd kind of effectively insulted them and said they were this, that, the other, and they all seemed a little bit salty after it. It's like, they criticised our English media for saying we'd almost won it and saying, how tired the Croatian players were. It's like, it was just stating facts. You played 2 games in extra time. You probably might be tired. It wasn't a criticism of you. It was more kind of hoping for England. And they just seemed a little bit aggrieved afterwards, and they got a little bit.
Okay, interesting. So
I didn't like that. So
I think France. Yeah, I think France will win it. I do think France will win it. I want Croatia to win it. But I want Croatia to win it and then Dejan Lovren to somehow be rejected a winner's medal. That's what I want. Because the guy's a knob. But I think I want Croatia to win it so that there's a new name on the trophy. That's the only reason I want them to win it. That's the only reason I want them to win it.
In the Euros 2 years ago, that gives them added motivation.
Yeah.
To quote Steven Gerrard, let's not let this slip. And so I think they're going to just kind of push on and see if because they are very, very good defensively. They really kind of just shut up shop, and Varane and Titi. It's a strange bond of Real Madrid to Barcelona in this, isn't there? Kind of Varane and Titi and Rakitic and Modric and.
It really is. It really is. But I don't know. I just can't see for Croatia being able to handle the pace of Mbappe and Griezmann, and Giroud being okay. I think he's now had a shot on target, but I think his physical nature will be enough to beat Lovren. And then just the players France have. Surely they've got to win. Like you look through their squad, and there isn't a weakness. The one weakness you may have said beforehand was the fullbacks, and they've been pretty outstanding for France at this tournament.
And France have never lost a match in which Pogba and Kante have started. If you got Kante in your side, and Kante versus, he'll take on Rakitic and Modric and Brozovic. He is just a phenomenon. That guy, he is absolutely insane. Yeah. And there's always been rumours over the past week that seemingly Real Madrid and Barcelona are buying all of Chelsea's side. And for me, it reeks of if Real Madrid or Barcelona were to sign Kante, it's like, right, you're sorted. You can get as many attacking players as you want in the side because he just covers it all. That guy has had a serious kind of 2-3 years. Was it like few million? Wins the league.
Yeah.
Chelsea wins the league. Wins the FA Cup.
And now World Cup final. Yeah.
Now World Cup finalist. It's like...
It's
insane.
Is he up there for your Golden Ball? Best player at the tournament? Not the Golden Boot, the Golden Ball.
Well, yeah, Golden Ball. He is, but he's never going to get it, is he?
Of course he's not. No, but you could be. But if you were on the FIFA panel and you have a dictatorship and you can pick whoever you want to win the Golden Ball, who wins it?
Dritch.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Because he is just... I remember screaming for so long, like, because fans used to go, when it was at Spurs, like, oh, yeah, but he gets like 2 goals and 1 assist. Like, that's not his point. Yeah, you watch him play, he plays it majestically, and I've always had a fondness for Luka Modric. And so, yeah, I mean, you go on a step further and you go, what about Ballon d'Or? And I think if Croatia lose this match, unless he has an outstanding individual performance, I don't think he will win it. I think he has to win the World Cup to win the Ballon d'Or, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think he's in the running for Ballon d'Or. He could be in the running for Golden Ball in this tournament. But I think if France win it, it will go to Kylian Mbappe. I think the Golden Ball. I mean, that's not who I would give it to, but I think that's who FIFA will give it to.
Like, people are really kind of noshing him off now, and his game...
Noshing him off. That's a phrase I haven't heard for a very long time.
No, it's just against Belgium. Like, with commentators going, oh, that was one of the most outstanding performances I've ever seen. I was like, I watched the match, I'm like, yeah, there's some good bits to it, but I didn't get the hype. I can obviously see he's a good player there, but I didn't. I suppose if you take into account age, it steps up a little bit. But I was like, yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Fair enough. But okay, well, I don't know who I'd want to give the Golden Ball to. I don't know. Harry Maguire. Why not? I'm English. He's English. Yeah. He's played really well.
I'll tell you who's not going to get a Golden Ball and who's probably feeling about their lowest ebb right now is Nikola Kalinic.
Oh yeah. Oh my word. What a knobhead. For those that don't know, I think it was the first game, wasn't it, that he refused to come on as a sub. The first game
he did
in the World Cup.
Tevez, didn't he?
Yeah, refused to come on at the World Cup, and then got sent home by the Croatian management, which put their whole squad down to 22 players. I mean, they only had basically two players for each position. And he got sent home after the first game, and now his nation are in a World Cup final. Don't be like Nikola Kalinic. What an idiot. What an absolute moron. But I think... so what else do you think? Yeah, the final. So you said... You said you want France to win it. I assume that means you think France are going to win it.
I think they will, yes. Yeah, I've got French heritage. So there's a part of me which likes it. Could potentially have a being the captain of a World Cup winning side, which would be nice.
Yeah.
France will week this out again. It could be a 1-0 win again, and...
Will they?
Really?
I mean, look at the Euros. Everyone was like, "Oh, France will win this. They'll leak it out again," and they didn't. They didn't.
And that is the joy of a final. It can go either way. It's because it's such a knife edge. It's so tense. It's not as open as other games. It can just be a free kick or something that goes in, and suddenly the other team shuts up shop. And when you've got world class Dejan Lovren in defence, if Croatia can nick a goal, it'll shut them out.
Exactly.
Shut them out.
Exactly. So, well, yeah, I think France will win it, and I actually think it'll be quite comfortable for them. I think this will be one step slightly too far for Croatia. They've played a lot of football, Croatia as well. France have had the extra bit of rest here and there, and the extra day's rest as well. So, I think France will win it. And then, so very quickly then, a preview of the third, fourth playoff. Do you reckon we're going to see another England B v Belgium B?
I think you'd see kind of an A- or B+.
Okay. Fair enough.
It just kind of
so just still make it a little bit more. Still no Danny Welbeck then.
It'd be interesting because my theory about Harry Kane carrying an injury, maybe he'll miss out, but then again, he maybe just want to play a half and grab a goal and sure that he's definitely the golden something winner.
Golden boot, the golden boot winner.
Golden boot winner.
So do you think we'll win it? Do you think Belgium will win it? Do you think it'll go all the way to penalties? What do you think?
The match should never be played. I think it's just a rubbing salt in the wounds match. It just shouldn't. It should just be done kind of like on kind of like a deciding kind of like goals scored or something like that. No one wants to ban this match, surely.
Just go straight to it. Just do when the semi-finalists lose, like the next day or 2 days later, so that both teams have a little rest, you just get both teams together in a fully packed out stadium, straight into penalty shootout, or like headers and volleys. First goal wins.
Either way, this is just...
Yeah, it's a game, like you say, it's a game no one wants to play. It's a game that I don't understand. Because what does it mean anyway? What does third place in the World Cup mean? Do you get a bronze medal? Is it like the Olympics? Do you get recognition for coming third? I don't get it. I don't understand. What's the point?
I'm not sure. Yeah, we're going to see. It's today as well, isn't it? We're not going to see a great match. I can't imagine. One thing is, so I promised my eldest son that who's 3, so he's not old, that if England got to a final, I'd let him stay up late and watch it, because at that time I thought it was going to be on at 7. So obviously it was on at 4, but then today's game isn't on late either. So I'm not even gonna watch it live. I'm gonna record it and then I'm gonna play it for him later on, so he thinks that he's kind of watching us a bit later on in the final. So I mean, it's going to make me sad. Just going to go and think. I'm telling him it's a third place playoff. I don't want him going and telling his mates, "Oh, did you see England in the final?" No,
yeah, we didn't. Yeah. Oh, bless you.
No.
Oh, you little softy. Anyway, okay. So, right. Well, I think we'll leave it there. So we've covered. We've had our thoughts about England and reviewed the Croatia-England game. Quick thoughts about the third, fourth place playoffs and the final, and then so. I guess the next podcast we do, we'll know who the best team is in the world. We'll be able to tell you that Dejan Lovren kept a clean sheet and guided Croatia to the World Cup winners. And then
part of the FIFA World Cup team.
Yeah, being part of the FIFA World Cup 11. And then the next podcast when we're back will probably be more around the Premier League and the summer activities and getting ready for the new season, which is always very, very exciting.
So much World Cup news that, honestly, my favourite thing in football is transfers. I just love building a squad. I keep a spreadsheet of kind of a Spurs squad and kind of think how the transfers are going to over summer. That's how much I love transfers. My favourite bit of Football Manager is assembling a squad. Absolutely love it. But there's been so much World Cup news. I'm sure there's many a transfer which I'm not aware of.
There's been a few.
So it'd be great to have a little catch up next week and see what's gone down.
It will be very interesting to do that next week. And the other thing I will say, just while we're talking about transfers, I reckon because the deadline shuts before the Premier League starts this season, deadline day is going to be absolutely mental. I reckon. I think it's going to be absolutely mental. Cool. Yeah. But anyway, in the normal way, we've still got to end with your fun fact of the day. So have you got one ready?
One ready. And then I remembered one I had from earlier, so I've actually changed it mid-show. So this is the fact I'm going with now, but I'll also tell you the other one, so you get double fact, all right?
Okay, go for it.
So the new fact is that the last 3 World Cup losing goalkeepers have all played for Monaco.
Really?
6, Fabien Barthez lost, and with Monaco. In 2010, it was Mark Stecklenburg, and then 2014 was Sergio Romero. And who is the goalkeeper for Croatia, and who does he play for?
Monaco. Wow, that's a really awesome stat. That is really cool.
Gutted Croatia, you're losing.
Okay, so what was the other stat you had then?
I've seen a list of the top 5 players who had the most combined, or the largest sum of combined transfer fees.
Yeah.
So how much fees have accumulated. So, well, I'm going to start off with letting you guess who the top 5 are. So who do you think's top of the list? I'll give you a clue. They're all currently playing because it's just transfer fees have just gone off.
Okay, yeah. So Ronaldo.
So Neymar is top. Yeah, gone from Santos to Barca to PSG. So this is all in euros, 308 million euros. Yeah, Ronaldo is second.
Yeah, after his.
What's his transfer sequence?
Madeira, Sporting Lisbon, Man United, Real Madrid, Juventus.
1 million euros combined.
Wow.
Third.
Okay. And they're all still playing.
Because I'm not sure. Yeah, this is an odd one because I'm not sure if a transfer has actually gone through.
Kylian Mbappe.
Yes. So that was between who and who?
That's Monaco to PSG. And he probably played for someone before Monaco.
It might have been a youth player at Lyon, maybe PSG. But yeah, it's 180 million euros apparently.
Wow. Okay.
Next on the list.
I don't. I'm struggling now. Getting to a point.
Big transfer recently, but like probably this year.
Oh, really? Okay.
Up as well, but got knocked out quite early.
No, I've drawn a blank. You'll have to tell me.
Coutinho.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Philippe Coutinho, recent transfer from to Liverpool to Barcelona. And before that, he must have been, I'll take a stab in the dark and say, Sao Paulo? No, he moved from someone else before that. Who did he move to Liverpool? Who did Liverpool? Oh, Inter Milan. That's who Liverpool.
Milan, yeah, Vasco da Gama to Inter, to Liverpool to Barca. But the fifth one on the list, but the interesting one was the fifth person on the list, and he's never really delivered since his Real Madrid days. It's Angel Di Maria.
Really? That is interesting. Because
I mean, you look.
Yeah, what's his network of transfers then? So where was he before Madrid? Because he obviously went Madrid, Man United, PSG. But who was he before Madrid? Where was he before Madrid?
He was at Benfica in Portugal.
Ah, okay. And what's his
and
total?
then Rosario Central, €9 million.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, he's not at the level of the other guys, is he? He's not. Because he's had some very good seasons, but yeah, ever since that Real United kind of crushed him, it crushed his spirit. He's not been the same.
No, he really hasn't. So interesting. So a double fact of the day. I like that, and lots of. It was another little quiz as well, which is very interesting. Love a good quiz. So excellent. Well, thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much for your facts. I will say, I have one thing to request of you next week because the World Cup will be over. What I need from you is at the beginning of next week's episode, you need to update your Harry Kane percentage of World Cup goals scored for England. Yep. Because the World Cup will be over, so when he gets his hat-trick against Belgium, you can update your stat, and we're going to start the show with it. It's going to be part of the intro before the wiki files, so make sure you got it ready.
Yep, I'm calculating as we speak.
Excellent, that's what we like to hear. Well, we're going to leave it there, so thank you very much for listening in, guys. It's been a pleasure again, and it's just brilliant. It allows me to chat to one of my really good friends about football, even though we're trans-Asian, or whatever I called it last time. Pan-Asia, transatlantic, trans-Pacific. I don't know what it is. I still need to figure out what it actually is. But yeah,
we'll do that as well. Yeah.
We'll do that one as well, yeah. So thank you very much for listening. Please leave a like if you're enjoying it, and if you want to hear more, leave us a comment, leave us a like. Let us know who your top 3 English players were and who you think will be in the squad for the Euro 2020s if we qualify. Who's going to win between France and Belgium, and England and Belgium, and who's going to win between France and Croatia? And is Dejan Lovren the best centre-back the world has ever seen? They are the top points that we'd like you to answer in today's episode. But thank you very much for listening. And Josh, if you can say goodbye and farewell.
Bye and farewell.
We shall see you very soon. But for now, we're out. Cheers.